Hello, fellas. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Or good night. What time is it?
8:42.
So we record on Tuesday nights generally, although sometimes we've been kind of getting into this Saturday morning routine, which has been good. And I thought I would share with you what my Tuesday routine is like on a recording day, because we've never talked about this before, despite the fact that we're all such good friends.
I'm actually really interested in this. Please continue.
So I wake up on a Tuesday morning, usually, the 6 a.m. hour.
Are you feeling like P. Diddy?
No, I don't understand that reference. I'm more of a third eye blind guy. And I always go, fuck, I've got to record tonight and I'm not ready and I have to work today and I live with a 4-year-old. So it's like, I'm fucked, right? So then I'm on my lunch hour, I'm kind of looking at my iPad and everything. And then it comes together reasonably well, right? And then we play the game that night and then, whatever. But that's not what today was like for me because I don't have a clue what we're doing at all tonight. Do not understand where we're at. Do not know. Have nothing prepared. I'm going to be over here adjudicating rules and making up DCs in my mind while you guys work to untangle this situation that you've created for yourselves. I take no blame.
Well, I don't know if we created it for ourselves.
Elaborate.
I feel like there was some things put into play, mainly like a Grigori situation that we have no control over. I don't know. I feel like our DM could have been a little more lenient with our time frame, so we had a little more time to prepare for Sertova's transformation.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. You can just listen to that in edits.
Oh, also, a gang just rolled up in our area.
Yeah. I thought we had like some fairly materialist, or what's the word I'm looking for? Militaristic companions with us that might, post guards, post sentries.
Isn't one of them a general?
Yeah. And like here we are, like just having a couple drinks, and some poor gnome like gets stabbed in the back, like around a bunch of like badass NPCs. Like,
I see.
So I don't feel comfortable carrying all the blame for our situation.
We might have to replace our NPCs if they're going to keep failing at that level.
What's the game plan if it's discovered that Sirio's the werewolf that killed 3 citizens?
Oh God.
We'll just pay off their families.
Yeah, on that, like that's not a terrible. We're
not going to let them put the king on trial. It's just not.
We're in the land of make believe. This shit happens. Like, let's own it. Weregild the families. Name a fucking barracks after him or something. I don't know.
Or some shit.
Right.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I was just opening my beer. So keep going.
Name the gate, like the front gate, after one of them or something.
Right.
And then just pay him a bunch of gold and be like, sorry about your luck.
Your uncle was a hero.
Yeah.
All right. That's if it's ever found out. I mean, we could tell a little half-truths and probably a few downright lies to cover it up.
Chris and I have a lot of...
I want to cover up. That's what I want.
Yeah. So you want
those always end well.
I agree.
Yes, it's never the cover-up that gets governments, I think, as I've said before, right? No, it's always the cover-up.
It's never the crime, it's the cover-up, yeah.
It's never the crime, it's the cover-up. But as you know, I'm a very literal person, and I just want to review my perception of the suggestions that were just made. So Bill's suggestion, along with Brad, I think, is bribe the families and then name...
Compensate.
I never said bribe.
No, you were putting... This is the problem here, Mike.
You're a lawyer and you're putting words in my mouth right now. Hearing. I didn't say bribe.
I'm sorry. What is it when you pay a family off to not make trouble for you?
It's an insurance payout.
It's not an insurance payout.
There's a quid pro quo here, right?
It's still not a bribe.
So I would have Mitch would maybe So my character Mitch would have no problem giving these people money and then still having them bitch and be angry. It's like, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
Cause trouble, but like I feel like your significant other was killed because of...
He was a coward and he was running.
Because Grigori planted a werewolf in our basement.
So not a bribe. more of a manipulation,
compensation,
a
I think is a
general
good-
hopeful wonderment that maybe the families won't be angry.
Sure, we'll go with whatever you're saying.
Oh, okay. But I'm hearing now that there may be a bit of a tale that you're deciding you might want to spin. So
Well,
can
try
I
the
learn
cover
more
up
about
first, yeah.
the? Can I hear more about this? So let me review for myself and for our listeners. Sirio is nowhere to be seen at all during the events of the night of the full moon, and then a werewolf comes up from the jail out the town hall. Kills mostly cutthroats, but some citizens, and then it chases Dry Colmay off into the night. And now Dry is in an open, frozen field with half-naked Sirio. So, and you guys can't talk to each other and plan right now, right?
No.
You haven't really talked about this at all. So, do we just need to hand this over to Bill for a little while and
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
with Bill and Chris. Chris, you Sirio wakes up. So now Sirio is half naked in the snow.
What did we say? 6 hours away, or 6 miles? 6 miles.
Away.
6 miles.
6 miles away. Yeah,
About a 5-minute
with
jog.
Arrow hole in his tuchus, and Dry Colmay's there, and Hoot's there too.
Hoot is there.
Take me into it, there, fellas.
Well, I'm going to see the king stirring, and I'm going to look down and be like, Your Highness, we have a problem.
Okay, Your Highness.
Your Highness, we have a problem.
Yeah,
Let me
so
brief you.
I'm kind of waking up. I no idea where I'm at. Feel horrible. Probably feel hungover. My ass hurts. But it's never mind. Won't go there. Wow. And yeah, all my clothes are off. But I know what happens when the full moon goes up. So being naked and my ass hurting is a little concerning, but whatever.
Right.
And we're not in town. I know that much.
No.
Well,
You're not.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to pull my pack out. I'm going to start trying to build a small fire while we're sitting here. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to explain to the king how he murdered 3 civilians. But he also killed a bunch of the cutthroat guys.
Right. On the bright side.
On the bright side. I'm going to be like, do you want the good news or the bad news? Or the really bad news? Because the bad news is you're half naked stuck out in a field with me and we're 6 miles from home. The really bad news is you killed 3 of our population. But the good news is you took out a bunch of cutthroats.
Yeah. You turned the tide of the Black Tier fight.
So kind of hearing what went down last night, I immediately start trying to spin some kind of scenario. Like who saw maybe a werewolf take out some citizens? Maybe it could have been lost in the shuffle, the confusion of the general attack of the other gang.
I feel like if they see the dead people, they're going to
know it's a animal kind of thing.
See.
Yeah, multiple witnesses saw a werewolf.
Okay, yeah. So if we can't pass it off as just general cutthroats, we could try to say that the werewolf was brought with them.
So you're saying that the Black Tiers brought a werewolf in, almost like a sleeper agent or something.
Yeah, they've got, let's say they have someone maybe infected with lycanthropy. They knew a full moon's coming up. This is when they strike. They just let the thing loose when the full moon rises.
Oh, that's a really good.
They brought Billy the Cutthroat Werewolf in, and then he changed. He transformed.
That's a good pitch.
I could back that up because he was in the basement with the leader. Who was that lady that was down there, like the semi-boss that Chris ate?
Shiva.
She was down there with Shiva, and he could be like, yeah, Shiva brought the werewolf into the basement trying to find the king.
You know, the other option that we could have is the half-truth of, yes, it was Sirio, and it's unfortunate that the Black Tiers infiltrated and infected Sirio and turned him into a werewolf and unleashed him on the town. So
that's a good idea.
There's already rumors, though.
Yeah, but there's already rumors
werewolf.
of him being a werewolf.
Yeah.
Well, and it's weird that those rumors started by who? And he
That
didn't
is
seem to
also-
be affected by the Black Tiers.
And he hid the whole time, so
You guys are talking about Grigori.
yeah.
Oh, are we? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Grigori did have those qualities, didn't he?
But then, okay,
So we need to get, first off, we need to get Chris and I back close to the fort.
Yep.
So I can sneak in and at least grab him some clothes so he's not, walking out shirt cocking it.
Yeah, I think we either need to head back ASAP or maybe shack up at good old Elga Verniex's place.
Now, here's the other problem.
I think we're kind of on the border of that hex.
Yeah.
You two are out in the field doing whatever. Og and Mitch are back in town.
Trying to spin
We don't
something.
have our story straight.
Right.
So,
Right.
You don't have your story straight. How do we avoid the metagame here? Well, let's just try to avoid the metagame here a little bit. Let's cut back to the town hall. It's daybreak at this point. Citizens are huddled in and around the town hall still. People are scared, but families who were separated are reuniting, and there's some sort of happy energy as well. And mourners have discovered the three civilian victims. Not to mention, a few were killed by cutthroats as well. It's not just 3 citizens who died. I'd say it's more like 6 or 7, because cutthroats were killing people too.
I'm sure there's like a lot of mixed stories of like what killed so and so. Was that Black
lots
Tears?
of confusion. Grigori wakens, about an hour later. He's missing a tooth now. That Mitch knocked
should hit him
out, but
again,
he kind of
Brad.
stays on the floor. He stays down. He's not asking for any attention at this point.
Smart move, Gregory. Smart fucking move.
Yeah. And Mitch, what are you doing this morning?
Gosh, and I don't want to metagame too much, but like we tied it on pretty well last night. So like it's that weird, like dawn came up, you're still kind of like half drunk, just groggy, don't want to be there, but the adrenaline's probably wearing off from the battle. But still trying to keep order. Not answering any direct questions directly. I think Mitch would have the wisdom to not say, anything definitive. Kind of like, yeah, we'll look into it. We're finding it out. Right now, our primary concern is making sure that the settlement is safe. So we're escorting families back to their houses, checking their houses out to make sure there's no black tier people hiding in closets or whatever.
And I know we don't want to metagame, but I think both Dry and Syria would try to get word to the rest of the guys. I think we may need animal companions and maybe familiars. If I can assign
Can I
new
use Hoot
abilities for the daily prep.
pigeon.
Oh, so Hoot and your Fox Kit. What's your Fox Kit's name?
Cleo.
Cleo, that's right.
We haven't talked
So you
about
just-
your Fox kit very much, actually. We
No,
don't
she
think we know
hangs
that
out in the
much.
backpack most of the time.
So you dispatch Hoot and Cleo back to town to fly ahead of you guys, or run ahead of you guys, and that's fine. But Mitch is about to be put into a bit of a sticky situation because Gorza Bloodstone, who you rescued alongside Kritala from the Stag Lord's fort, approaches you, and in a loud voice says, "Where's the king?
We're trying to find that out right now.
He's missing."
He's not missing. He's just not here.
He looks distraught at this, and
But this is like chaos, right? I mean, there's like buildings, I imagine, like smoldering. Like there's just death everywhere. Like it's to know where every and exact person is.
Like you can.
But I think that, and Mitch will kind of like look up to Gorz and like kind of look around and say, "Hey, I don't see Dry either, so the king is safe. Dry is with him."
make a diplomacy check.
Oh, fuck me.
Jesus, don't make Brad roll.
Can I zero check this?
Yeah,
It's a 19.
very diplomatic.
He kind of nods at this a little bit, and he sheathes the Stag Lord's sword that he still carries.
That's right.
And he goes, okay. He goes and sits down. But then you kind of look around at the people who are beginning to slowly disperse back into town, and you lock eyes with Valerie. And Valerie is giving you this narrowed-eyed look.
She knows the situation, though. She knows that he's a werewolf.
She does not.
I thought we
I thought
decided
she
that she
knew.
did.
I thought only Harem knew.
I thought
remember
Lindsay,
that now.
Valerie, and Harem knew. I could be wrong though.
That's not my...
Okay.
Those are not my notes.
Okay.
Well, then I think Mitch needs to go explain it to her real fast.
You remember Valerie is like kind of a no bullshit person.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
she's like, what's going on? And that's the look on her face.
And I'll
right
give
now.
her a look of like, we'll talk later. Like, continue to have my back, please.
You should
Or
go.
I'll give her the universal signal for
for that.
we'll talk later. Yeah.
You should just walk up to her and be like, and just start giving her orders like, hey, we need to do this, 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 this. And
Right.
while you're doing that, be like, we'll talk in a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good call. Kind of like, can you go cover the south, make sure that the walls are back up and that we have guards posted for a counterattack. And
Get her doing her generally duties.
You, I, Dry, and the king will have a discussion with Og. I'll kind of point over to and Og's going to join us. We'll have a talk tonight.
And that brings us to Og, Julianus, and Tomton. What's this little guy doing? Are you kind of blended with the crowd right now? What's your deal?
Looting.
Yeah,
probably.
Og is trying to take everything in. There is a lot going on. There's a lot of people shouting, doing things, and yeah. So I think he's just kind of wandering around, just trying to take it all in.
Amiri emerges from the jail, and she walks over and she says, "Their leader's dead. Down in the jail.
Yeah.
Shiva, I know of her. She must have led the attack, but something killed her down there. I think it was the werewolf."
She says this out loud.
Yeah,
How many people heard that?
like everyone. Like a lot of people.
Can we kick her off the team?
She's like, "What's the problem? My job as the warden is to find out what's going on." That's what she does.
I'll ask her to seal the doors to the hall. This is a crime. Like, this is something we'll investigate further. I don't want people going in there.
Ooh, do you take the angle of like, if it's a werewolf attack down here, it could have spread. We need to quarantine anyone who's injured or something
there's that
like
too.
that.
Oh my god, how many different games are we going to play here? This is
All of
crazy.
them. All of
yeah.
them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Mitch will say seal off the town hall and the basement and where this bandit lord or whatever her name is dead. Check anyone else. If anyone else has bite marks, we need to talk to them.
And at this point, Og walks up and he's like, "Hey guys, are you talking about the lady in the basement that the werewolf killed?"
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that same one.
Amiri's like, "What do you know?
Oh, just that lady got killed by the werewolf.
Were you there?"
I got sprayed with blood.
And you do appear to be covered in blood. And
Did
she
any get in your
looks
mouth?
at you. Yeah, she's like, "Did any land in your mouth, gnome?"
Oh no, no blood entered his mouth.
Okay, so you lock down the jail, you lock down the town hall, and you begin inspecting all of your citizens for bite marks. Is this what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I mean anyone in the general area right away, just
Okay.
kind of glancing over, looking around.
Okay. As all of this is going on, Dry Colmay and Sirio are now close to Fort Trand. So a couple hours have passed. at
Did
this
we get
point.
messages at all from...
No, but I have an idea. Like, we
Okay.
haven't talked about sending out the familiars yet, like, for a second, but I don't think we actually did it.
Yeah, it was an idea that then we kind of moved on and we didn't really explore it. But did you guys attempt to do something? Because if so, then I just don't know how familiars and animal
Communicate,
companions are
yeah.
really going to communicate anything substantive. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
universal signs aside?
who would have to be carrying a note, and then I'd have to look up the familiar abilities to see if there's anything useful that I could prepare in the morning.
Well, I have an
I think
idea.
it's feasible for Hoot to carry a note. But go ahead, Bill.
Well, how close are Chris and I? Like, we've been walking towards...
You can see the smoke clouds coming up from buildings. You're
All right.
half a
Well,
mile out.
I propose that Drive slings Sirio over his shoulder and starts running to the front gate, yelling the king has been wounded. Because I did shoot him in the ass with an arrow, and there is a fresh wound on him. That
And
way,
he's got no clothes on.
I had to peel his pants off to get the fucking arrow out.
But he's wearing pants. He's not wearing a shirt.
Right.
No, I'll give him my jacket.
He's like Goofy, not Donald Duck.
So I'll give him my coat, because I'm sure I have like an undershirt on. I'll just wrap him in my
take
coat.
his pants away.
No, I'll leave his
Jesus.
pants. I'll leave his pants
Okay.
on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Put my jacket on him. I still have my undershirt and my trousers, so it
Yeah,
doesn't look like
all
we were
right.
some kind of weird rave.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it
think
might
that
look
looks
like we were at some kind of weird rave.
Well, it looks super
It was a full
suspicious. Yeah. Looks super suspicious with you guys running back. with,
Well, no,
you know,
because the
into
story could be that Sirio took off after the werewolf out of the cage. I saw them, and I chased after. and then everything happened at the kingdom. While
And then you chase down the werewolf and
Yeah, Sirio's first reaction was to go after the werewolf by himself, and he just took off running. And I saw it, which is why I shot at the werewolf in the first place.
right.
So, Dry, you have the opportunity to work this out with Sirio, but no one else. So,
Yeah.
Sirio, what's
Sorry.
your take on the plan?
I mean, if we're near the town, that's kind of what we're rolling with.
Plus, those guys wouldn't know inside anyways. I mean, they would know that Sirio's a werewolf, but I don't think, because we haven't spoken yet, but I don't think Mitchell is running around and be like, yep, it's the king.
Right.
Out there chewing
Yeah,
on
you-
people.
And really,
I think that's reasonable.
the person who transformed in the cage, we were holding them to see if they did have lycanthropy.
Yeah, because that other girl brought that person with them. See, that's what the way I'm thinking is like that. The leader girl brought the werewolf down there looking for
Right.
Sirio, and it transformed, killed her, and then got away.
Why were they in the jail looking for Sirio?
They don't know the castle. They were just walking around. It's not like they knew where everything was.
Right.
So they go down the steps with Werewolf Willie.
Yep.
He changes. They
Yeah.
were looking for Sirio. He rampages through the town hall. Sirio takes off after him, and Dry takes off after Sirio.
Yes.
And then hours later, you guys return, Sirio wounded, claiming to have defeated the werewolf then?
Chased him off at least.
We just chased him off. We didn't beat him because then they'll look for a body and we don't have one.
Okay.
We'll just say that, we lost him during the daylight.
Okay.
You know what we could say is he ran back towards town as it was getting lighter, and he could be anywhere in the city.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Well, we got 30 days to find him.
Okay. So you're approaching
trial?
town. Sirio is pretending to be unconscious, slung over your shoulder. You enter Main Street then, and you're walking around, and you are spinning this tale. I needed a low DC check from Sirio to pretend to be wounded and unconscious, and I need a relatively high DC deception check from Drycolme as you're explaining all of this.
27.
Damn, what'd you roll?
19.
Well, that's pretty good. Sirio, how you doing? Just don't roll a natural
What am I
one.
rolling?
A deception check to pretend to be unconscious. And
Oh, I'm
wounded.
totally unconscious. 25.
Okay. Mitch, you're standing on the steps of the town hall. You're looking down Main Street. Here they come. You've got some measure of relief as you see this. And Dry's telling people this story, and you hear it. And you know it's bullshit, but he's doing a good job. He's selling it. Until you look over at Valerie.
Fuck.
Who's just like, And you know, this is for our millennials. But friends, when Joey realizes that Chandler and Monica are dating, and he's like, oh, and they got to tackle him and take him into one of the rooms. Valerie has more sense than Joey Tribbiani, but
Does she?
It clicks with her totally. What's going on here? And she
I think
doesn't buy it.
Mitch, out of
But she keeps
respect,
her mouth shut.
will see that immediately and just grab her by the kind of, not like roughly, but like kind of an arm
So
on
like
her shoulder.
Chandler and Monica leading Joey
Right.
into the bedroom.
Yeah, like, hey, come help me secure the throne room real quick.
Well, yeah, because I'm just trying to get Chris to somewhere where I can lay him down so we can...
Right.
Because he's wounded.
You enter the town hall with Sirio. Valerie falls in beside Mitchell, and the four of you walk inside and down the steps where Ogjulinus and Tompton is.
Yep.
And now the five of you are together, alone. You proceed down to Sirio's quarters, where he lives. And you're in his bedroom. And he's got posters on the wall. I don't know. What's in Sirio's bedroom?
Michael J. Fox.
Oh,
Yeah.
Teen Wolf.
oh, I thought you were going like...
bunch of Twilight posters.
Team Jacob.
Team
Big
Jacob.
orange
Team
Seaball
Jacob.
fan.
Oh,
Of course you are.
Yeah, Team Jacob.
Okay. And Valerie looks at you, and she's quit smoking, by the way. And she goes, "What's going on?"
Mitch will spill like from the beginning from Kundal. Like, you remember the incident when we had animal quote unquote attacks on civilians, and we took down, just lay out very basic outline. This is what happened.
Yeah, and
We
I
haven't had a
kind of
chance.
pipe in and mention when we came back to town, we primarily talked about making contact with the lizard folk and driving off the the will-o-wisps and all that. But really, a big chunk of that was to try and find a cure. We were looking for alchemists, herbalists. We're hunting for, wolfsbane, the whole thing. Because we know being a werewolf and the king, they don't really go together.
So you're briefing her on all of this. Yeah. She's getting angrier as you take her through, but she holds it together, right? She's not like enraged, but we've established with Valerie that she's like, do not lie to me, right? Ever. But here,
I thought she knew. Honestly, I thought she was part of the to know crowd, but I could be wrong.
She looks at you all.
What other
NPCs
people that we have in position of leadership do not know?
My impression was that it was just Harim that knew, aside from you, the PCs.
It's most
because
of
he
them
was
don't
with
know.
you that night.
Yeah,
but,
most of them
maybe
don't
this is a point of contention with us. That's my impression, but I don't want to just do a gotcha on you guys because you never told me that you weren't telling others. But my impression was this was a closely held secret that you weren't telling anybody.
Yeah.
So what's it going to be?
I think that's accurate because I can think of a handful of NPCs I wouldn't tell.
Yeah, like either the goblins,
Right. Knock knock or
Bang Bang or whatever his name is.
Micmac?
Yeah.
Micmac.
Boy, we haven't thought about Micmac in a while. Let's
that trend
rewind
going.
and establish that Micmac was there for the Black Tier fight and killed many of them, and that he's as much of a badass as ever. Team Micmac, woo! Okay, so Valerie takes this all in, and she thinks for a moment, and she looks at you, Sirio, and she says, "You took this risk, and you killed your citizens, and I know that it wasn't your fault, but you allowed yourself to be in town while you transformed." And she pauses for a moment, and she looks you dead in the eye, and she says, "You're unfit." And she stands up to walk out of the room.
Okay, well, I guess we need a new general.
Yep, have to replace her. She gone.
Do you say anything to her as she leaves, or do you let her go?
I mean, if she left, she left.
Yeah, like
She's
we told
not
her.
gone yet.
We told her.
She's
She's going to react how she reacts.
Yeah, if that's her decision to leave. I mean,
Unless Mitchell wants to stop her.
I mean, Mitch is going to kind of meet her at the door out and say, "I value your opinion. You make decisions with honor and with your heart and with your head. I hold nothing against you. I would only ask that you keep what you heard here to yourself. Can you give me your word that you'll do that?" And his hand is on the hilt of the sword.
oh.
and really didn't sound like a discussion. She just stated a thing and then left. So
Yeah.
I as the king, I can't be running people down. If she about faces leaves without any conversation, then I'm not chasing her down.
Yeah, we gave her the facts as they were. I mean, it wasn't...
Yeah, she didn't ask any questions. She was just like, "Oh, this is it. I'm leaving." And so
Right.
Dry would just immediately wrote her off. Because that just proves she's not loyal.
I think Mitch would also ask her, take some time to think about this, but also, if you're helping the town or the settlement in the next few days, maybe keep a tally of how many Black Tears fell to a werewolf and how many civilians were saved by that alone.
Make a important diplomacy check.
Jesus fucking Christ. Important dice rolling.
Can't have Brad rolling for these things.
That was another diplomacy, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's another 19. That's an actual, another 12 on the die.
19 total diplomacy check. She stops and considers for a moment. This look of sort of regret mixed with almost nauseation kind of comes over her face, and she realizes in that moment what she said and what it meant. And she turns back around, and she locks eyes through the doorway with Sirio as you're sitting there still without a shirt on. And she looks at you for a moment. Chris, what do you do?
Oh, hairy-chested.
Yeah, curly hair, curly chest hair.
Neat. Unbeknownst to us, he's got a bunch of little prison tattoos tattooed all over him. Like, what?
You're like, what is...
Is that a no fear tattoo?
It's, you know what it is? He's got those eights, those that we used to draw in the 90s, you know?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess I call it. Do you have anything else to say?
She will walk back in, and she looks at you and she says, what do we do about the families, about the people that died at your hands?
Claws.
Yeah, I think
Yes, I'm sorry.
not just the ones who died to that, but just all the citizens who died because of the attack. I mean, their deaths are directly related to the attack. Precautions were taken so that wouldn't happen, but because of the attack, that is why the citizens died.
That's a good point.
She considers for a long moment. She'll say, forgive me for what I said. I'll keep your secret, but please do not ask me to lie for you.
Okay. Well, at this point, we can't really have Valerie out on the council, so that I think the kingdom activity, step number one,
It's going to
when we
replace
change
Valerie.
leadership, that'll have to happen.
Yeah.
Want to have her step down for a few
If
terms.
she doesn't want to be involved, then she can't be involved in anything.
But yeah, obviously
be
we're
around,
not talking
yeah.
about that in front of her. But I, you know, we value your honor. We wouldn't ask you to go against what you truly believe. I thank you for listening and understanding and coming back. I know you've put a lot into this settlement and have been with us a long way, and I hope you'll be able to continue to help us as we grow the settlement and tame the stolen lands. As far as the families are concerned, I don't know. Where's our treasure? Ooh, our treasure is not looking too well. He's still an ice block. But I think we'd be able to set up some kind of fund or, you know, something to take care of the families. I don't know, were these breadwinners that died? Were they the kids? Were they the wives? Like,
Let's find out more about that.
depending on what their station was, we'd be able to help them out.
Did you just refer...
Since it's like, you know, a million ways to die in the West, people dropping all over the place.
She takes her leave.
I think Mike was wanting a little bit more compassion out of the king.
I think at this point, I mean,
Where's our treasurer? Oh, he's still an ice block.
are the characters ever gonna trust her to go back out to do anything?
Oh, absolutely
Like,
not.
I don't think so.
I honestly think the best outcome is probably for her to leave. She's going on the shelf at this point. She's never going to use. We're never going to want to interact with her.
We could use a kingdom turn to make her an ambassador somewhere in a different
exile or
city.
something. I mean,
Yep. She could be
And then she'll eventually get
the
pissed
Cobalt
off at us for
ambassador.
exiling her and tell some other king the king's secret, but we could have him healed by then and then not worry about it.
I don't think she's gonna spread tales,
Way to
but
go,
I
Mike.
definitely think that she's not going to answer things dishonestly if she's asked directly by another citizen. Like, is the king a werewolf? I think she would.
Mike
straight
just
up say
got
yes.
Valerie excommunicated.
I don't know, but I think that he did that in a way that plays by her. Like, that's her character. That's who she is.
I'm not
That's-
disagreeing. I'm just saying that if Mike didn't like her, he should have never put her in the game.
Yeah, and kind of my read on it is she's not going to go, you know, spreading tales. She's just be the silent warrior type. But if anyone asks her directly or engages in the subject, I mean, she's not going to lie.
Well, she seems to have accepted your rationale. I mean, your point to her was like, look, we did take reasonable precautions.
Yep.
And, you know, this attack was what caused, you know, that is the cause in fact for my actions. Were not me. It was this attack that caused it.
yeah.
And
And
had I not
Og is
been-
like, yeah, if that attack wouldn't have happened, I never would have let him out as a werewolf. Like, I just wouldn't have had to.
Well, so let's look more at that for a second. Because, you know, if you're, because what I was working my way around to is that Valerie, I think, has reached this conclusion that's like, you know, we are in danger of being overrun. Had Sirio not killed 15 black tears and 3 citizens,
And Shiva.
it could have, and Shiva, it could have been way worse, actually. And so he did some friendly fire, but
And Og's like, yeah, so I'm a hero.
And then
Yes, you are.
Og Day.
Og blurts out that you let him out.
Which I don't know if any of us know yet.
I don't think any of you
None
knew
of us,
that.
none of
No
us
one
knew.
knows.
Syria doesn't even know. Nobody knows. It's only Og, so yeah. He just volunteered it.
5 sets of eyes turn and stare at Og right now.
5 sets of eyes turn and stare at Og right now.
He's like, yeah, no, it was really cool. I just used Mage Hand and it opened and he killed Shiva and it got blood all over me. And then the other guy ran off.
And Valerie looks back at you guys and goes, "Who is this?"
And he takes his opportunity and launches in. I'm Ogulus and Tomte, and, into his soul spiel. She'll have to stop him at some point.
Tell him about the kukri. She'll love that part.
Oh, yeah. He goes on and on about the kukri. He's like, had I killed the other one, and then let's say I hit you, you would have bled more.
So what Valerie has done is she's apologized. She says she gets it. She just doesn't want to lie.
So she's around as a muscle, but I don't know if I think she skips out of a couple kingdom turns, in my opinion. Like we don't take her
or
bonuses.
we could move her to treasurer and put someone else in general.
That's not a bad idea.
It's just someone,
Jaethel.
general's not. I feel as general and counselor are like
You have to be
number
able
2 and
to
number
toe the
3
line.
in the hierarchy. So like they're
Yeah,
going to know all the dirty secrets. Whereas the treasurer, it's like,
Just keep my money straight. Yeah, because like if she's in the inner council, then she has to be able to.
Well,
so
we got a
can get
bonus for
cured.
something by having her as general, though. Like, it was very advantageous to have her as general.
Yeah, she auto invests as general. But this is a pickle. I didn't think you guys were just going to fire Valerie. I figured
kinda
you'd
quit.
be like,
she
we should
totally
she
quit.
walked out.
She
She walked
quit,
out of
Mike.
the room
Again, at the narrative.
without any
substance.
conversation or anything.
That's job abandonment.
whoops,
Whoops, that'll get cut.
whoops.
I think she's salvageable. I just think that she's just going to be sitting out a couple kingdom turns.
Yeah, but I think it's a really good thing that we explored the fact that we're hiding this from people that we trust.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a very
again,
good point.
I just feel a little bit like, well, maybe I'm still concerned that maybe you thought you had shared it with her. But my whole deal is she probably would have reacted a little bit poorly to this.
Right,
You know?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So
I don't think, I honestly don't think, I mean, now that we think back, the only person that I think knows is Hareem. I thought Lindsay was with us, but I could be wrong on that.
Lindsay's been with us for like
17 years.
months.
Yeah.
Right, so I think Lindsay knows all the shit.
I think so. Lindsay was there for the Boken conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah, and she's the town, like she's a
I think Valerie
historian.
does. Yeah, you know, very good point. Yeah, Lindsay knows. Augustus
knows.
Tompton knows. Kritala knew. Now,
We put that guy in the ground already.
I
right.
thought he was going to boat.
We are
So-
gonna Viking bear him.
So I think if I'm hearing you right on Valerie, it's that okay. She's
Time out from leadership.
so she's in timeout. General slot then is open, or is it just that she's doing her day-to-day stuff? But
Yeah,
You know,
she's just doing
she's
her
just-
day-to-day stuff.
okay, so she's the general, but it's like, you know,
That's
I
it.
don't know.
just-
No, she's out. She's no
yeah,
longer
I mean,
the general.
she sat there and she almost walked out on the king. She doesn't get to say general.
I mean, what happens when she's leading the charge and she's like, you know what? Ethically,
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with this suddenly.
Right. Yep.
Like, fair enough, but again, I don't think we can trust her right now.
All right. I
Maybe
agree.
there's something in like Og doesn't actually care. Og has no idea, but
Right.
Do we
yeah,
just
so-
dismiss her and then all of us, like me, Mitchell, and Sirio, just like, hey, what do you want to do with her? And then just send a runner to a room and be like, hey, you've been demoted.
I guess Dry could
Send her a
become
text
general
message.
and Jaethel could become emissary.
Oh, we need to have Jaethel the general.
It's ultimately, I mean, in game, ultimately, it's Sirius' decision, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
We are just the King's Council.
Let's let the king make a decision on this, and let's draw the curtain on this scene. And we cut to later that afternoon as Grigori is being made to build the fiery boat that you're going to shove off onto the Tuskwater. Are we still doing this plot? No, I'm just kidding. Let's cut.
I think it'd be better if, like, because Mitchell and I built it.
Yeah.
So Dry and Mitchell are putting together a what is this called? I'm getting the name wrong.
It's called
where
a
you
Viking
build
funeral.
a Viking
Yeah,
funeral.
there's a actual term for it. Let me look it up.
Yeah, but
Viking
it's
funeral.
in Swedish. I can't speak that language.
I'm sad about Valerie. I'm sad. I'm going to talk about my feelings. I'm just a little sad.
You did
sad.
it.
Look, you
Yeah, it was your
still wanted
fucking
us to be
fault.
like, no, Valerie, don't go.
There was
We were
no
like, fuck
there was
off.
no discussion. It was a monologue, and then she left.
Right.
Yep.
And Dry was just like, well, if she's going to turn her back on the king, then she's not fucking worth my time.
You're right.
Probably lit up a cigarette. She's like, picked the wrong week to quit.
She's relapsed. She's using nicotine again.
Okay.
All right.
So Mitch and Dry craft an Osberg.
Ah.
You carefully place his corpse onto this vessel.
I guess with
people have
Strix,
gathered
like, would we
around.
know, like, is there, like, a way that they want their, like, wings wrapped around them? Or, like, wings, like, pinned out so they're, like, flying?
Make a society check.
Man, I'm rolling all the hot dice today. That's going to be what's it going to roll? 25.
Oh, that's good.
You bury him with honor. You I don't know. But
We push the boat
Mitchell
out.
does.
It gets about 200 yards out. Dry and Mitch both pull arrows out of their quivers, light them on fire, but Dry doesn't shoot his. He throws it up in the air, and Hoot grabs it and flies it out and drops it gently on top of the boat.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then Mitchell's misses and falls into the lake.
Yeah, so Mitch overshoots it by like 6 yards.
So while you guys are preparing that, Siru kind of sees what's going on and kind of hold your back, and he says, "I've got something to say." Cortella and I didn't speak a whole lot, but we were kind of had a vibe going, and he was into the wrestling thing, and I just gotta say a few words for him. And Siru clears his throat, and then he drops into he's gonna drop a promo here.
Whoa.
If I don't care what the people around Galarian are saying, man. Cortella Mania will live forever, brother. I'm not worried spiritually about your death. You've got your travel arrangements made. You've got the deal upstairs, already done. I've seen the little Cortella Maniacs, the training, the prayers, and the vitamins. They're gonna live forever. Cortella Mania is gonna live forever. And even though they physically destroyed you, physically wiped you out, physically took your life, Cortella Mania will live forever. And in front of these 493 people, brother, with all of Galarian watching on closed circuit TV, we remember the power of the best tosser in the world. And then he lets down his arm. Those arrows fly, raises the cape that Cortella, took those doom levels for, and blasts a fireball through it. And so all three of the remaining party members just light this boat up.
Wow.
That's
fucking
awesome,
That was
Chris.
fucking great, Chris.
Oh my God.
Cheers.
Donnie, are you okay over there? A promo just got cut.
That was
amazing.
awesome.
have to calm
That was incredible.
My heart is
Oh my
pounding
God.
right now.
I'm
That
so
was
glad.
so fucking good.
I'm so glad Cortella died just so that could happen.
That was so fucking good. Oh my God.
People, Cortalla had fans. There are citizens that are wearing Cortalla merch at the funeral that he was selling to them, and stuff, and Cortalla forever. And
Cortella 316 says, "I just whooped your ass."
toss me, tosser.
Whoa.
Oh, there was a promo. So there was a promo Ric Flair used to cut that he's talking about. He was styling and profiling. I think I was going to be flossing and tossing down the aisle.
Flossing and tossing.
That's good.
God damn, that's amazing.
Valerie stands apart from everyone as the king shows why he's the king, right? And she walks to the barracks alone.
Cue Charlie Brown sad music.
Right.
Yeah.
Dry's going to stay there until the boat burns completely. He's not going to go in. Him and Hoot are just going to stand on the shoreline.
Yeah, I think Mitch would kind of sit there as well. Watch it smolder.
Pulls out a flask of bourbon, like Mitchell.
Yeah, and I think it does. Og would probably ask what, who was that?
Oh God!
Tell me
So
about it.
we're gonna finish that bourbon, and we're gonna spend the next 8 hours telling
Brad
stories.
and I are going to
Yeah.
get shit-faced and regale the
Again,
tales of
yeah.
Cortalla. How we met him, where we were, how everything went down.
Yeah.
I think that's a fitting end.
Yep.
Yeah. Cortalla rescued from the Stag Lord's Fort alongside Gorza Bloodstone. And,
yeah.
and we haven't talked much about Gorza in a little while, but I mean, he's been around. He's been really, I think he was kind of like, part of the army, like vice general situation, right? Him. And he is very mournful of Gritala's passing. They were friends.
Yeah, I guess how long did they spend together with each other as captives?
Like a month and a half.
Damn.
Like some time.
Is he
So
looking
they
for
knew
a
each
job?
other. He says we had a workout routine that we were going to do when he got back. But I guess that won't happen anymore. He cries.
It's okay, big fella. It's all right.
It's okay.
He's like,
So, after all this is over, like the next morning, Dry's going to ask for a private audience with the king.
I mean, I don't know. I guess, kind of hang out, hold court, whatever.
Yeah, just
yeah, you're
chilling.
holding court.
So I'm going to walk in and I'm going to be like, I need a word with the king privately. So I'm going to need everybody that you're holding court with to leave. Unless like Mitchell or Donnie or Mitchell's there, he can stay.
Yeah, Mitch is probably out.
There's
like,
a
trying to
room
repair
we go
buildings.
to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll step out.
And I'm gonna tell the king that I wish to retire Hoot. And I wish a nationwide decree for Hoot's safety. And
I mean, that's easy. That's easy enough to do. Do you have a plan to like release him into the wild, or
I'm just
I
gonna.
I wouldn't want you to keep him as a pet because he's not really a person, but not really an animal. He's kind of in between, an animal companion, you might say.
I'm gonna take him out in the woods by the shoreline and just let him go. Let him live out his final years. He's an old bird. He's only got one leg. I mean, he's done a lot for us in the last couple of years, months, however long, months we've been out here. I just don't want to see him die needlessly in some fight with a goblin inside a tree somewhere.
Yeah, he saved your life.
Right. Saved everyone's
during-
life, really.
Yeah.
Can he choose to retire to the city? I just can't think of anything more depressing than being old and one-legged and dumped in the woods.
Well, the
That just
meta here
seems
is he was going to show up one day and make a nest on top of the king's castle, and then he's just going to massively reproduce. Like there's going to be a fucking owl problem.
It's gonna be an owl problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That'll keep the
Keep the
doves
vermin
away.
away.
So yeah,
It'll keep the Yosoki or the rat person.
away.
Yeah, I'm sure we can issue some kind of proclamation for Hoot, and maybe not all of his progeny, but at
least him.
first gen.
Yeah, him in his first gen. So
Do you let him go right then and there, or are you gonna have a
Well, no, I'm
ceremony
gonna walk him down to the shoreline because I'm not sure where he's gonna make a nest.
for it? Right.
So I'm just gonna walk him out to the lake and take a few minutes with him and maybe like an hour, and then just set him free.
So Sirio has a conflict and has to make a hard decision about his general. Dry retires his animal companion. Ogjulinus and Tomton, new to the party, is in the process of finding and getting settled in a new home, a place perhaps where he belongs. But what about Mitchell? Where do we leave Mitchell at the end of this episode? How do you end your day?
I think Mitch is kind of still reflecting on, Kritala's death because we haven't had a solid rest. We've had one night's rest since then. So he's just kind of going back to like all the things that have happened over the past year or however long we've been doing this, just the deaths and the adventures and, cause he's got a lot of the traits that Valerie has, like the honor and like not wanting to lie about things. And just a lot of questions. He also feels somewhat justified, but also horrified about his actions of knocking Grigori out. Like knows that at the time that was the thing to do, but like is now like, this isn't the kingdom I want to build. If that's, how the people in power treat those that question their authority.
So you are having sort of these thoughts. Maybe I even picture you sitting down at Dundee Sundry's nights with a couple of brews, thinking alone behind the bar, and you retire to your quarters in the town hall. It's late at this point. Everyone else is asleep, you would think. And you go to your room and you lay down and you go to sleep. And for the first time in a long time, Mitchell finds himself standing at the stone pedestal with the small pool of water
God damn it.
in front of him, with figures all around him, looking down at these moving scenes down below, these dioramas. There's many of them. And you're crestfallen at this, right? You're freaking out. You're very unhappy. You thought this was behind you.
Thought we were done with this.
Thought we were done with this. No. No. But this time, things are a little less weird. And this time you feel a familiar hand on your shoulder that spins you away from the pool and toward his face. And it is Kritala, somehow from beyond the grave.
Hair looks great.
Who looks you up and down and in the eyes. And I'm going to do my best Kritala impersonation, which is not going to be very good. But he says, "Hey, brother, it's okay. I'm all right. But I don't think you're all right." And he casts his eyes down to the Roka sword on your hip. And he's like, "This isn't the weapon for you, brother. It's wrong and you know it. Seek Briar." Briar, he tells you. Seek Briar. You'll know it when you see it, but you don't need to carry that anymore. And he fades away.
Point of
He
order.
fades away.
Kurtala would have called it he would have called it a gimmick. So
That sword's a gimmick, brother.
you need a different gimmick.
You need a different gimmick.
Shit.
Seek Briar.
Does he fade away? Like, can I ask anything?
Yeah, sure, if I could ask him.
Is it a person or a place?
It's a sword. Then he leaves.
Fucking guy.
It's a sword.
Mitch isn't even angry at that. He just laughs. He kind of yells, "United Front," and holds his fist up as he walks away.
He fades back in. United Front, brother. He double fist bumps you, and then he leaves. And with that, Mitchell is full of absolute confidence that somewhere out there in the first world or somewhere beyond, Kritala is still around.
Hell yeah.